Another video so soon. Spontaneous. I just don't even know why I'm doing this. I got upset at something. That's what motivates me more than anything, because I have no motivation and no inspiration. Inspiration, you can't self-manifest. You can't positive think. That is a fallacy that absolute morons believe. And there's historical hard evidence for that. In the 80s and early 90s, they had self-help tapes. And when I was a teenager, and when I first heard about it, I said, weird. We're not designed self-help. We're designed to ask for help. My kids, I never allowed them to say since they could speak, a year and a half. I like tying their shoes, putting on their socks, or anything. I never allowed them to say, I can't do it. Never. And I never use the word no with them. It's more work. If you see them doing something, you say, hey, you should do it like this, and you go explain. If you watch parents, you don't even pick up on this until you have kids. Watch parents. They bark at their kids like they're dogs. No, you can't. You can't do that. Don't do that. You can't. Imagine hearing that tens of thousands of times, which is what happens. No. So what I used to tell my kids, first of all, I never use the word no. Never, ever. I never use the word you can't. Never. This is how people get brainwashed into thinking that they can't do things. Because they've heard it tens of thousands of times since they were 6 months old. 3 months old. And so what I used to tell them is, never say you can't. You can do anything. Say, I need help. That way you're admitting that you cannot succeed on your own. So that's really important. And secondly, you're asking someone for help. And when you ask someone for help, it makes a big difference. So you're doing two things, you're accomplishing two things, and there is never the doubt in your mind that something can't be done. And in the case of my case, I never had anywhere to go for help. So when I needed help, I went and prayed for God to help me. I never had, I blew out a transmission or two. My dad knew how to fix anything. Your HVAC, your heating, cooling, your anything that broke down, your car, your transmission, your engine, anything, it doesn't matter what it was. He just knew he had a knack to repair anything and do it properly. Anyway, your electrical, he could install your electrical. He never took any classes on electrical stuff. He just understood stuff. He was really smart. He's got some serious OCD problems. He can't focus on one thing. He starts 5 things at once and doesn't finish any of them. So my mom was like, my dad was like a loaded 44, literally. He could do anything. He was also very sociable, which I'm not. And he had a very powerful, very powerful power of conviction, which my brother Flavius had, and I think I have to some degree. But my brother Flavius and my dad, they really had it. That's a gift. You're born with that. But my dad was like a loaded 44 Magnum, and my mom was the hand that wielded him. And together they were like a super duo. My dad has never accomplished anything on his own really worth mentioning. And my mom accomplished what she accomplished because she's got a business mind. It's just set that way, and she's really driven. But her startup money came from my dad's hard work, And she worked equally hard raising 6 kids. It's, you can't take anything away from that. But but without startup money, you can't get anything done. So my mom got that, but she turned 140 grand or whatever it was, I don't remember, into millions on her own. She never had any help from anybody. She got remarried, but no, she had to pull that weight. she had to put her foot down and say, no, I'm buying this. No, I'm investing in this. No, I'm doing this. So it's unusual for a woman to be a risk taker like her. And with 8 grades from Stignica, what did you learn here in eight grades? There's nothing to learn here. So some people are just natural at certain things. So together, my dad, my mom and dad were like, they had the exact opposite abilities. And together they were like a superpower, Sad, things didn't work out, but that's what you want to find in a spouse. Anyway, what did I get upset about? Because I have no motivation. Inspiration, all the inspiration comes from God, all of it. Some people use it to paint. I read years ago some guy painted the portrait of Jesus Christ in human feces and urine. His inspiration came from God. He just chose to do evil with it. So I have no inspiration. I don't have perspiration because it's sub-zero all the time. I got wet firewood I got to cut. They brought me wet firewood. I sold a bunch of coins. And I had to go buy a bigger axe. You see that red axe? And the small one. The small one, I couldn't cut this wood properly. So I went and bought that one. Red axe. I give you guys visuals, drawings. I give you everything you need and you still don't get it because you're all dumb. I got the bronchitis, I got the pneumonia. Disgusting. It won't go away. I got bronchitis and pneumonia. Yeah, together, combined, they coexist. Humans are the only ones that can't live together. Anyway, I got milk on the stove, so I hope I don't boil that over. I'm going to get very angry. I got a bunch of wood in there, but it's barely burning because it's wet. I threw a bunch of kerosene on it. I'm new at this stuff, And I'm not used to the compartment size of this and the amount of wood and the amount of kerosene, and there is some embers in there. And I was getting angry. I was just pouring that kerosene on there out of anger. Never start a fire angry with kerosene. Good thing it's kerosene. Imagine if it was, well, I would never do it with gasoline. I've had some bad experiences with the gasoline. I used to like playing with volatile things. Good thing, nothing permanent. Anyway, a fireball came shooting out of this thing, I was just tossing. See how it's barely burning? Because they're wet. I was tossing kerosene in there, man, like half of that thing. Maybe 3/4. And it reached the back of it where there were embers. And this fireball came out. And good thing I turned my head like Michael Jackson, Good thing I'm not wearing activator right now. I have to wear activator because my afro acts up. Dude, I turned my head right as I heard it first. And then the fireball came out. It was the biggest fireball I've had that happen a few times. But I thought the embers were way in the back and I was cool. I was just trying to wet down the front end to get it going. See, it's still not burning. And I threw a bunch of kerosene in there. And I'm going to run out of kerosene. And this fireball came out. And I turned my head and it just burned. Like this is all burned up. It burned this whole side of my hair. It's like I pulled out a bunch of burnt hair and the top of my ear, but no permanent damage. I don't have a mirror to see how bad it is, but I could feel. I pulled out a bunch of burnt hair. So that's what I got to deal with. You better ask somebody. I bought a composite because the other one I had a full size axe and I busted it. It just snapped off. I hit this log too hard and it just snapped off. So I bought a composite one. And just like when I had guns in my house, I get spooked easy. So you got to be careful. When I get spooked, I react. When I react, it's always on the offensive. Can't change it. Can't help it. Nobody comes to visit me, but I tell people, don't. This guy that say I'm gonna come by there, he like sounded like he was gonna come at me in the middle of the night. And I said, knock on the door if you come in the middle of the night and to come beat me up or something. I said, knock on the door. Don't be stupid. Don't break in. Because if I'm in the middle of the night and I'm like, frazzled and I think someone's coming for me, dude, you're gonna eat that axe. I'm not joking. I'm going straight for your chest. And just like when I had guns, I told people, because I was the kind of guy that had a spare room or two. If someone locked themselves out or if they ran out of gas or whatever, friends or relatives or relatives, they knew I always had spare rooms, and I never cared if anybody came over or went in my fridge and slept over. So sometimes people just came over like at midnight or 2 a.m. or something and went through like a window or something, and I didn't care. I was never worried about it. But when you have kids, after I had kids, I started getting scared about someone coming in my house, So I bought 2 guns, a revolver to make sure it doesn't lock up, and a semi-automatic, and 1,000 bullets, most of them hollow point, and some other kinds. And I told everybody I knew. No, I didn't register them. That's stupid. Nobody knew I had them except my closest friends and family. I just told them, look, if you ever come by in the middle of the night, just knock on the door. I don't mind waking up. It's all right. I wake up all the time for the kids and all that, for the babies, I don't mind you coming by my house anytime, 3 a.m., 4 a.m. I'll never say, what are you doing here? Never. I always said, oh, come on, man, get in. I gotta sleep. I gotta wake up for work, And they can just go, they go do whatever they gotta do. I don't really care. I never had alcohol in the house or anything, even when I was single. But food, whatever, I didn't keep track. And so I told everybody I knew, don't, because somebody tried to break through one of my windows one night. And I don't think it was a relative. I don't think it was a friendly. There was an apartment complex across the street that was low-income housing. A lot of drug addicts over there. Like a lot of dealers and drug addicts and just crazed people. And we had an elderly care home who take all various types of medications. And I think this is what I concluded, because I ran down there when I heard someone trying to jam the window open. I just heard fidgeting and someone trying to jam the window open in the dining room. And I went down there, they were gone, and the screen was all bent in half. So someone did damage. A relative wouldn't have done that. A relative would have just knocked at my door, called me. So someone did try to break in my house, but they don't understand. If they would have spooked me, I would have emptied a clip in them. I'm not joking. So I just don't scare me. When I get scared, I just like instant. It's just instant anger and recoil. It's not even intentional. It just happens. You're not gonna hear me scream. I'm gonna just smash whatever's there. Anyway, that's not even why that's a tangent. This thing's gonna be like 20 minutes. Nobody wants to watch 20-minute videos. I got upset today about something. Yeah, injustice. I'm just tired of sabotage and injustice. I'm just fed up with sabotage and injustice. I've had my fill, and that's why I do a lot of sarcasm on Twitter. And some people can't handle it. Well, then don't be a liar. Don't be a liar. Don't be duplicit. The people that I mock on crypto, the people that I'm sarcastic about, I don't threaten these people. I said something about my nephew being forced vaccinated and I said it directly to Donald Trump, President Donald Trump. I said it's going to be on his head and his children's head. That wasn't. I guess you got to know me. That wasn't a threat like you think. It was just you call it karma, since most people are libertarians or atheists or whatever. That's what I'm talking about. It's more than karma, but that's what I'm referring to. My nephew is a U.S. Secret Service agent, and when he got jabbed, he was like 25, 26, 27. He was young. He loved his job. He was home. His parents are very conservative. He was home birth, like all his 8 brothers, his 8 siblings. Home birth, no vaccines, and then he goes and gets vaxxed. And when I heard that, I start crying. I start crying. Because that's how much he loves. He loves America, and he loves Donald Trump. And he got vaxxed because otherwise they would have kicked him out. And that made me really angry when I saw Trump saying we should give these people their jobs back and money for refusing to get vaccinated. What about the people you force vaccinated? What are you going to give them? What are you going to give them? Their lives back? Their DNA back? You better hope and pray. You better hope and pray he got something really, really, really nothing. Otherwise, it's going to be really, really bad. Anyway, that's not what I was thinking about this morning anyway. Just injustice in general. And crypto specifically. People are just always trying to sabotage me, backstab me, underpay me, not pay me is like the protocol that everybody has to follow. And I just wanted to make a video about it and say that here's a word for you: equal finality. Yeah, I see it being misused, or it's been turned to multi-purpose use. Like cognitive dissonance. When I was in college, it had specific meaning. Now they've turned it into like 10 different kinds of meanings. Everything's being changed. Nothing means what it used to mean. Right is wrong and wrong is right. Black is white and white is black. You're being truthful on YouTube, on Twitter. Oh, you're being abusive. No, I'm telling the truth. I'm calling you out on your duplicity, on your lies. You say one thing, you do another. You promise one thing, you do another. I just call people out, that's it. I've never said hang Fauci. I've never said put Fauci in prison. I said, what about everybody else? What is he, a lone gunman, a lone jabber? No, I've never said anything. I said Fauci was a liar. At the beginning, very beginning. And yeah, he belongs in prison, but he was just one employee. He was an employee. Okay? He wasn't the lone jabber. That's what I call him, the lone jabber. Everybody's talking about him like he jabbed the whole planet. The media wasn't in on it. Big Pharma, no, they didn't make 3.7 trillion. Puppet governments all around the world were not in on it. The U.S. media was not in on it. The U.S. politicians, Congress, Supreme Court, they were not in on it. No, it was just Fauci. So of course I'm gonna say, oh, you're fraud, bunch of frauds, you bunch of liars. Just give it up. Just at least stop. Just stop it. Would you like to see Nancy Pelosi prosecuted or put in prison? Or would you like to see George Soros have everything taken away and put in prison, him and his son? And I'm like, oh, stop it. Stop it. What is this, man? I just don't like propaganda of any kind. Unless you're doing propaganda to like spread awareness of something, I like propaganda. I'm into it. It's fun. But any propaganda I spread is because I believe it's true. I'm not using misinformation or disinformation. Nobody's gonna touch George Soros or his son, or Biden or Biden's son. No, nobody. You understand? So I hate seeing it. I don't Google the stuff. I don't type in Biden or George Soros or anything like that. They shove it in my face. They shove it down my throat. And I have no more tolerance for it. And it's just stupid. Who believes that? Well, I guess a lot of people believe it. Otherwise, they wouldn't be shoving it down your throat. Anyway, that's not how the world works. That's not how America has been taking a massive detour towards suicide lane. And that's not how things are working in America right now. It's completely altered. America is in an altered state of being. And that state of being is comatose right now. Fourth stage, I think, is the where you're gonna die. I can't remember. Or level 4, I can't remember. It's been many years since I studied this stuff. Anyway, don't rip me off. Don't con me. Don't play games with me. Just be straight up. You know, even if I have intentions to do something that is going to cost you something, maybe it's going to cost you a lot, an enormous amount. I state my intentions right to your face, right on Twitter and Facebook and anywhere I can find you. I state my intentions and I state why. And then you're free to do whatever you think is right. You know, I don't put a knife in anybody's back. I tell you what I plan to do and why, and then you can act accordingly, or you can act the way you've been acting for 14 years and continue doing evil. How's that working out for you? How's that going? Every time you guys harm me, it costs you dearly, dearly. You're gonna find out next year. Next year, you're going to make adjustments, plotting like little devils. You're going to plot and plot how to bypass, how to detour around me and all these things. And you're going to find out that there are many roads to the same goal. That's what equifinality means. And there are I have set out and put into motion myself the best I could with the very little money I had and everything. At least 5 to 7 different roads to reach the same point, and it's just impossible for you to even fathom what's in my mind, let alone stop everything. Especially next year when it's going to be a Category 7 hurricane coming of money and new investors. You just can't stop that. It's too much, it's too many, you know. So it's just a matter of time. And then the people that did me really wrong, that harmed me, that caused me and my children harm, I'm gonna cause you a disproportionate level of discomfort. That's not a threat. Just same thing as with Donald Trump, President Donald Trump. I'm not going to show up at your house with a red axe. Stupid. I just have these here because I got to chop wood. Anyway, and there's theft here all the time. And it's also for self-defense, you know. Oh, my milk boiled over. Ah! Now it stinks. Now my milk stinks. Makes me angry. If this thing was burning properly, I have it in my head about how long it takes for the milk to get hot. But it's burning so slow because the wood's wet. I don't like the smell of burnt milk, but I don't want to waste it either because there's no stores here. Anyway, I gotta go. Stop the shenanigans, the chicanery. Stop the stupidity. It's gonna really upset me. Don't upset me. When I get I'm making this video because I got a little bit upset. Just a little upset. Don't do that. It's just gonna stop hurting yourselves. You know what's wrong with you? When you make me angry, you're basically self-mutilating. You're mutilating yourselves because I no longer let it get to me where it affects my brain or my nervous system. I don't. What I do now is I find an outlet where I can laugh the entire time I'm doing damage to other people. Just by being sarcastic and exposing them for their lies and duplicity and exposing them for who they are in real life, doxing them. I can dox exchanges, I can dox people that I've never doxed before. It's not a problem. So you are no longer affecting my nervous system or my mind or my sleep patterns. I decided to just go on the offensive every time I get a little bit angry. And this was just a mild disturbance, like a 1.0 earthquake, just mild. And it was enough to motivate me to make this video. Because I have no motivation to make a video. None. So congrats. Imagine if you motivate me at a 5.0 or a nice 7.8.0 earthquake. Oh. A lot of doxing. There's a lot of doxing left, man. Really important people and some really special exchanges that people have no clue about. None. And I can prove it. I can prove it mathematically, like. People who got BA degrees don't know what I'm talking about. Well, just trust me on that. All right, gotta go.